is somebody going to make sure we're on? For the last 3 weeks, dude, it's been like the struggle bus trying to get onto the
I don't know
internets.
what's going on.
So I trust we're there.
I mean, we'll get a text message from Rubber Shoes. We're already 13 minutes late.
We're
so I'm
13
sure
minutes. We're 13 minutes late. Yeah, the executive producer is probably wearing a track into the rug at AAA Work Trucks. I'm sure.
Is that where he is tonight? Is he working tonight?
Our dear friends at AAA Work
Yes.
Trucks who make this all possible. If it goes in, on, around, or if you're painted to the side of a truck, I don't know, and your name's Rubber Shoes, then yeah, then it's AAAWorkTrucks.com is basically what the deal is.
That works.
Yeah, something like that. So
They haven't provided us with scripts. That's the problem. I think we need scripts.
well, no, he just does that cock and made me line every time, and yeah,
Right.
yeah, which I threw it to him once and he didn't even get it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of
He
course.
was like, "Oh, I
wasn't expecting it."
Sibilance, yeah." So anyway, and then he just a few weeks ago, by the way, welcome in ATBShow.com, Adam in beautiful downtown Connecticut, and
Yes.
Timmy in New Hampshire. Scotty's on assignment. Rubber Shoes is apparently on assignment. He might be on another Joe and Leslie assignment because the owners gave him tickets the other night.
Oh, I know. What is
And
up
I don't
with
know
that?
if I just
need to
started
get a
a
job
whole
in a truck place.
I might have started a whole entire coup at AAA Work Trucks right now because I just told the whole staff that he's getting the seats behind home plate. I gotta stop talking. Yeah,
You're fired.
yeah, yeah. So God bless the ownership over there that adore Rubber Shoes so much. He's sitting behind home plate for one of the triumphant losses to the Pittsburgh Pirates, which was not great. I believe it was a couple of nights ago. Wasn't it a couple of nights ago?
Yeah, I don't know.
Might have been Monday night. He saw Yoshi's first home run, which is great.
Yeah,
I know
that's
they're
good,
calling him Macho Man with the barbells and stuff. I'm gonna go Yoshi though. Like
Yoshi is way better.
I love
way
Yoshi.
better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
4,000%.
I want to know when we're going to get ATB tickets to the Celtics box from AAA Work Trucks. I mean, they've been sponsoring the show for quite a while now.
Yeah, so we're not yet publicly traded. Although if we were,
True. Yeah.
I feel like we would have had a tough day on the Dow today. So I'm not sure.
Probably.
What we'll probably do is come back in here, put on too many cameras, fight through the internet, and we'll just watch one together in my office. It's going to be great.
Sounds good. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
I think that's episode 125.
Yeah,
what we
well,
decided.
apparently, according to Scotty
Yes.
Dukes, yes, that's apparently what we're going to do. So, when Adam and I do a show together, we rarely get into the metrics. There will be no facts tonight. We will discuss things around sports. That's usually what you and I do.
We usually go by our gut. What we're
Well,
feeling.
I mean, if we're going to make a little list, and I probably need to write this down since I'm crashing into the side of senile. I want to talk about in no particular order.
Sure.
I know where I want to start though, because I'm coming in hot on this one because I saw it this morning and it made me want to package the internet up into a small box and then put it in like 5 bigger boxes. You know, Christmas, you get that cousin that makes you unwrap 32 things.
Yeah.
And then when you open it, it's a scratch ticket. Best of
look at
luck.
that,
You
buddy.
gotta split it with me if you win. You want to jab like a ballpoint pen into their neck because you just wasted 4 hours of everybody. Nana's gonna die soon.
What happens at Christmas at your house?
A lot. A lot.
So.
Yeah. Just ask Cheryl. So in no particular order, I do want to talk about
right.
Caitlin
Yes, we do have
and
to
Angel,
talk about
obviously.
an Angel, yes.
Because that's gone sideways, and I think they've both made great impasses to get back to the center here on this one.
I agree.
In the
I agree
last
100%.
24 to 48 hours, which has been good.
Could have turned into a WWE match, and it didn't. So that's
We're going to discuss the fact that I absolutely jinxed the Bruins again. Good one.
seems to be a pastime for you.
That might be all we discuss about that because I feel like if I don't talk about them, we'll get back on the right track. But I just said a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, they can't afford to have another hiccup now because we're so close to the playoffs, right?
Right.
And Celtics, got to discuss the Celtics because that 1 point loss was very telling for all the right reasons. Mm-hmm. We were down a soldier, right? That was really good. And then I got to lead off with this, and there's probably more stuff that's going to come up. It's going to be stream of consciousness tonight. Enjoy the show, everybody.
Yeah.
So I don't know when this happened. It might have been most recently. Maybe it's just something I caught, but I feel like it was most recently. Did you see where a reporter was at the locker of one LeBron James, and they were interviewing him, And the rest of the Lakers locker room, did you hear about this?
No.
Was making goat noises in the background. And this comes
serious?
This comes on the heels.
Is that true?
1,000%.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous.
What I do know because of the platforms that we're streaming to, one being Face Space, and Zuckerberg and I have a very
tight relationship,
delightful relationship. I know if we throw that content up right now, it'll be ripped right down. That's why we never try to step on anybody's toes. What is that line from Dave Chappelle? Habitual line stepper. I'm not going to step. He's a habitual line stepper. I'm not going to step.
Is this the present that was wrapped up in 5 boxes that you wanted to talk about?
Oh, no. We never got there.
Oh, okay.
We never got there. I got sidetracked.
LeBron is LeBron is worse than a scratch ticket, I got to tell you.
Oh, 1,000%. So, absolutely, because there's been a lot of stuff in the last couple of days that I've just caught, and I don't know, it's because the algorithm's sending me certain things.
Yeah.
Jordan never had to say he was the greatest of all time.
Thank you.
Jordan would defray that anytime it came up. Now, on more than one occasion, LeBron has dubbed himself the greatest of all time.
Right. He came into the league as the king.
Yes.
The chosen one.
Yes.
No, he didn't dub himself that, but nonetheless, he ran with it.
No, on his HBO barber show, whatever that's called, The Shop.
Yes.
He said at one point, that's when I knew I was the greatest of all time. He said something like that.
Oh, no, I know he said that about himself now, but I'm saying like when he first came into the league,
he
Sports Illustrated, he was on the front cover,
yes.
the chosen one. Yeah.
So he's getting interviewed at the locker, and the goat noises start. And
what does a goat sound like?
Not LeBron James. So, and the reporter references it. He's like, I got to stay focused. And there's a little smirk on his face. I guess I'm shocked.
Yeah.
That the people in that locker room, and I appreciate this. Here comes the guy with the gray hair waving his cane at the clouds. Yeah. Even the talent in that locker room, whether they're just playing into that or feeding each other, or they're trying to get their energy right for this maybe play-in game and not playoff run. I don't know. I don't know what all this is about. I just don't understand how they could have that kind of a consensus that they felt they needed to do that, or maybe they were screwing with them. Maybe it's a mixture of the two. They had to have been screwing with them. I mean, honestly, do you think these guys in that locker room would all of a sudden just start making goat noises behind him, and it wasn't a goof? Oh no, it was, but they're inferring that he's the greatest of all time. Like that's like when somebody's getting interviewed on the sideline after the game, and the other person runs up and gives them their flowers in front of the universe.
Right. Well, I will say this: I'm never one to apologize. I mean, to celebrate LeBron James because I can't stand him, quite frankly. But I will say that comparing the two, Michael Jordan and LeBron James, like the fact that Michael Jordan never said it out loud, it is a different era where for two reasons. One is there's so much more content from these guys all over the place, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you basically know everything about these guys, everything they're doing nonstop. You see them getting off the plane, you see them getting into the locker room, you see, whatever. There's a million different places you can see and consume content about each of these players. So that's one. And then number two, the culture now is compare. Everybody's comparing everybody. Yes. KD's the best, Giannis is the best, blah, blah, blah. So I kind of give him a pass in a way because it's like, that's the culture now. But I agree with you. You never saw MJ come out and say he was the best. You never saw Magic or Bird come out and say they were the best. And even to this day, those guys don't say it, So I hear what you're saying, but I do think it's a bit sort of a thing about the culture the way it is now as compared to when MJ was coming up.
Yeah, I guess I'm just stunned that what kind of a bubble, what hermetically sealed Ziploc does Los Angeles live in that's even getting joked about right now? Like, even if they are just joking with him, like, I don't know, like the whole thing just was like, but yet that in all of their ripe shittiness, That got them on. That got them onto ESPN because nothing else happened.
Right.
That got them onto ESPN. And I was just
well, let's see. So where are they right now? So they're in 7th place now. So they would be in the play-in. And I feel like they could beat the Pelicans, the Timberwolves, or the Thunder. So I feel like no matter what happens, how it shakes out, of course they're tied with the Clippers. So and Clippers must have the tiebreaker. So they could end up even in the 6th seed, which in the West is not saying much because the West sucks. But if they end up in the 6th seed, I mean he's done his thing. They sucked for a long, long time this season.
Yes,
and now they have a winning record, and
Well, and last year was no playoffs, right?
That's right, right.
Yeah.
And I can't, could you see him missing the playoffs 2 years in a row? I couldn't.
As a Patriots fan, I can adopt that line of thinking.
Does it count that you made the playoffs?
It's called January.
Does it count that if you made the playoffs if you make the play-in game or no?
I think the very fact that the NBA added the play-in game means that they will call that the playoffs.
Okay.
Play-in, play-out, playoff. Yeah, like that's, because what were they were calling
teams,
it?
yeah.
Remember it turned into Super Wild Card Weekend?
Yeah.
Like a few years ago, you were like, oh, you're in the wild card? Yeah. You can sit over there. No coffee for you. Coffee's for closes. Right. Then they're like, Super Mega Wild Card Weekend. Yeah.
It's like the World Wrestling Federation of baseball. It's crazy.
Yes. Yeah. I thought that I saw that this morning or last night, and I'm like, oh my God, my delusional rant at some point. I got to get that in because I was just like so annoyed. I'm just annoyed by him. Phenomenal player. Will go down as one of the greatest of all time, but not like he's absolutely in the conversation. But Shaq's real good with it. Shaq's just like, what about Michael? What about Kobe? What about Kobe?
That's a good impression. That's a good impression.
What about Michael? What about Kobe? Yeah. What about the general? What are your insurance? The general? Yep. Yeah.
What are you having for dinner? Papa John's.
God bless him. He's honestly one of the nicest people that you don't hear enough about, and that speaks to the fact that he's not marching around talking about it. But you see on social media all the time, like he's just, he was marching around because he told the whole story in his freshman year in the NBA.
Yeah.
He had just got his place in Orlando. And he basically got his house and he's like, I need some stuff. And he went to Waldale's. He's marching around Walmart. Like half the staff is pushing carts up to the front of the store.
Yeah.
35 minutes later, they finished ringing everything through.
Oh my God.
And they ran his card.
Yeah.
And like his financial advisor called him and said, where are you? And what are you doing? And he's like, well, we just bought that house. He's like, yeah. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I got to fill it with stuff. But he's always in there, like, just grabbing stuff, like super.
I will admit to have gone down multiple Shaq wormholes on YouTube many afternoons when I didn't feel like working to look at videos of him giving people stuff. And like there's this one video where he goes into an Apple store and there's a bunch of kids walking around and he's like, what do you want? You want that laptop right there? Yeah, I'll give you that laptop. I'll give you the laptop. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. And it's like I'm crying like a baby watching him give these kids who could never afford a Mac and he gets them a MacBook. And it's like, it's the best. I love Shaq.
Yeah, he's a good egg. But he's always just like, you forgot about Kobe? You forgot about Michael? And it's true. Like, really?
I know. Yeah. Well, LeBron needs to get at least his 5th ring to be in the conversation, in my opinion. But
which he will probably get at some point.
You think so? I don't know. He wants to play with Bronny. I don't think they're ever going to team up for a championship.
I don't know. They got to put together something super magical.
Yeah.
And that will be super cool to be another father-son combination.
Oh yeah, it'd be amazing.
Like the Griffeys and so many others. Like that'll be super cool. I don't know how much he's going to have left. And it will be super sad to see somebody as dominant as him have to leave because of a trick hip. Right. Or like a bad knee and he just can't play. Like it was like we forget now, right? You totally forget because you've divorced yourself from Bird being anything but Bird.
Oh,
but it was rough at the end.
At the end, it was tough.
Oh my God, his back and everything. It was just a mess.
Well, what he did, not to go too deep into it, but what he did on the Dream Team was actually quite remarkable because he was so hurt, and yet he still really contributed to that team. So, and have you watched the Dream Team documentary?
I did. I'm going to say no because I would
see it.
be able to confirm if I haven't seen The Last Dance, dude.
Oh, what? Oh my God! What's
I know.
wrong?
I'm gonna get kicked off. I'm
home?
gonna get kicked off the show. All right, I'll see myself out. Hang on a second. Hang on.
Yeah, please. Yeah, get out of here. What are you doing?
Yeah.
No, Rubber Shoes is the one that watches everything and is a fan of everybody.
Yes,
right? So
sure.
it's okay that you didn't watch The Last Dance or the Dream Team documentary, but the Dream Team documentary is remarkable and definitely worth watching. I think it's either 1 or 2 episodes, but it's really, really good. Definitely worth a watch. So I recommend it. And they talk about how Charles Barkley was actually the best player on that team, which is incredible to me because
that is
you
incredible.
had Bird, Magic, Jordan, and Charles Barkley was just at the height of his power. So, anyways, we
probably one of the best bloopers that you see on. It's on. I see it at least once every couple of weeks on the internets, right? Probably on the TikToks. There's a scene where they're all at the desk, and it's Ernie and I forget who always sits next to Chuck. Yeah, Kenny, Ernie, Shaq, and Chuck. And Chuck goes, listen, when you're under the hoop and you got a guy banging you, and he's talking about aggressive defense, and Shaq loses it.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Then there was the one time they were having a foot race. We're gonna send everybody. Everybody's leaving for the internet now. They're gonna jump onto the YouTubes. There's one where they're also
already on the YouTubes. All they have to do is click over to the search bar. Go ahead.
The intertubes. There's one where Kenny challenges Shaq to a race to the stage because they're going to go over stats, and he shoves him into the tree. I mean, talk about down goes unbelievable.
Oh my God, I know. That's a good show. They've won a couple of Emmys for it. It's actually a very good show.
It's really well done. Well, he's done a really great job of diversifying himself. Like he does. Anytime when the PGA does the Capital One challenges, he's always because he's just so friggin' funny.
Yo, he's the best.
He's so funny. So
did you see his 60 Minutes thing?
Terrible. No, when was he on 60 Minutes?
Oh, he was on 60 Minutes last week, maybe the week before.
Okay,
it wasn't like funny particularly, but he's an interesting guy.
My dad always had an affinity for that. So in the lineage of the 60 Charles Barkley, 60 Minutes.
Oh, okay.
Always. That was a staple in our household. So yeah, I record that every week. And this is here comes old man waving cane to the clouds. I get so mad during football season because he gets all jacked up.
I do too. I get so mad when they're like 60 Minutes will be up next. Yeah, unless you're on the West Coast.
Yeah, unless you're on the West Coast. Patriots Bills going to like quadruple overtime, and I'm like, I'm gonna miss my Harry Reasoner.
Oh, where is he? How do we feel about the new correspondents? Like you've got Anderson Cooper now, and you've got a couple of new people that haven't been there before because a lot of the old guys have since passed.
I'm more story driven. Like I'm not going to get lost in whether because I feel like 90% of the
Mike Wallace was the shit.
Oh yeah, they were all great. Yeah, I look at the titles of I just go through and say what stories do I want to watch. I won't necessarily watch it cover to cover.
So how many times have you watched the Marjorie Taylor Greene episode?
I haven't. When was that one?
It was just this past Sunday. You haven't watched it yet?
No, it's sitting there.
Keep up. What is going on?
Dude, we went to bed because we had to wake up early on Monday. And I mean 1 a.m. Monday. Because we went out to Chicago for Aiden's trip to school.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so you have to get back.
There's a lot sitting in the hopper. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, I know. You're
My
busy,
DVR might have almost as much as Shirley's DVR right now. And that's saying something.
And she's got every Red Sox game since 2022.
Yeah, she still has the 86 World Series. Don't tell her. It's going to break her heart.
Just don't watch the last couple of innings, Cheryl.
Yeah. When Mookie gets up, best to just go to bed. Don't wake the kids. How many kids in New England are still in therapy because their parents woke them up?
Yeah.
Right? Timmy, get up. You're going to want to see this. Really? Still paying a therapist.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Now you should watch. If you really want to get scarred, you watch the 30 for 30 about the 1986 Mets.
Oh God.
Have you seen that?
Bits and pieces.
Do you watch TV at all? What do you do at night?
We watch a lot of stuff.
Yeah, what?
I don't
like
know.
HGTV?
I forget. I'm old.
No.
HGTV? No. No.
No. I don't like the Property Brothers. Do you?
No. There are certain shows on HGTV that I will watch.
Like
Rubber Shoes, by the way, loving the tangent. That I will watch. I haven't
gotten to the Red Sox yet.
Yeah, I don't think that you can absolutely enjoy a show about your industry. Like when you get home from McDonald's, you don't want to make fries.
Yeah,
and getting home and watching HGTV is brain damage.
Yeah,
because it's just building the non-truth that we have to battle in the streets when we talk to the humans every day about purchasing homes, right? So
in the streets, I love that.
In the street, we are in the streets. Yep, sharks and jets, sharks and jets, sharks and jets.
Crips and Bloods would be an updated version of that, just so you know.
Well, you said it.
Old man waving your cane.
Yep. Well, awkward segue, but here we go, because I'm going to say this. Because before the game started, I said to my wife, you look at Iowa, and you look at LSU, even almost down to the colors, it was the Celtics. No, even down to the colors, it was the Celtics and the Lakers.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Totally agree with you.
People are looking at the screen right now.
Yep.
And if you're an old Celtics fan, that's all I could think of immediately was that. And then, the big story that everybody's talking about this week was the "You Can't See Me," and how that was all blown out of proportion. I also completely appreciate where Angel was coming from, and I think if people don't understand, that was 3 games prior that Caitlin did it to her bench. She wasn't doing it to another team. She wasn't doing it to a player's face. She looked over at her bench and said, "They can't see me," real quick. And she didn't even verbalize that. She just did that, and they all know what it means. Right. If you're a huge wrestling fan like you and I,
yes,
and you've seen John Cena in LA at WrestleMania in Kowloon Dunks, in Kowloon Nikes, yep, so good, good, man of the people. What they should call them are the soy sauce dunks.
I love that.
That's what
you should make that recommendation.
You're welcome, Mr. Wong. I'll throw my Cash App in the liner notes. So nobody cares. So
that's scorpion balls.
And she and I think what everybody got worked up about is she pursued her. Yeah. And that's where when I saw it on the foul line and I'm like, okay. And then when it was over and the ring, to me, that was Aaron Donald, right? When she's doing that was Aaron Donald when they won the Super Bowl. All of that getting blown out of proportion, and then the fact that it turned into, well, if Caitlin did it, why can't she do it? Is this about bravado? Is this about race and all that kind of stuff? And I thought they've both been good because she's just listen, I was just making sure that, and she has a point. Before that game, you would not have known that Angel Reese existed. It was a lot of Caitlin. If you're watching the coverage, there was a lot of Caitlin.
Yes.
Not a lot of
all Caitlin.
Yeah, it was all Caitlin. So she well within her right to be like, I silenced everybody.
Absolutely.
But to pursue her the way she did was a little bit more. But they've all given each other their flowers back and forth now. She's like, I love the smack talk. She can do whatever she wants to do. And probably the best part of that loss, which wasn't even close. That's the other thing. It wasn't a buzzer beater, which was sort of such a letdown because I feel like all of March, men and women, were just like it was buzzer beater after buzzer beater in some really great games. That game was a little bit of a letdown, and I had a gut feeling going into that game that I just sensing. I think LSU is just going to rock them. Yeah, because they had nothing to lose. Right. Because if LSU lost that game, you would have already forgotten who Iowa beat because they were just so not discussed, right?
Well, all the way through the whole tournament, it was South Carolina and Iowa, right? Those were the 2 teams.
Yep.
And LSU would sort of just quietly beat the teams that they came up against in the bracket and ended up in the championship. And you're like, okay, well, it's going to be Iowa, and that's just how it's going to be. And during the game, you're like, oh my God, LSU can't miss. I mean, they shot 75% from 3-point line in the first half. And it's not like they shot 2 shots. They shot like, I can't even remember how many, but it was like 12. And they were 75%. I don't care who you are. You're not going to beat that. I mean, you can't beat that.
That's what was so astounding was, to your point, my gut feeling was that LSU was just going to like come out guns blazing.
Yeah.
And most likely have the energy to hold that for 4 quarters, which they did.
Yeah.
What I didn't see coming was Caitlin having a really bad game.
You think so? I didn't think she scored 30 points.
Okay. So okay. Yes. And
I mean, 30 points. It's levels, right? And this is with every superstar, every player that has high expectations. She put up 41, 41, and then 30, and you're like, whoa, why didn't you score 40? You know what I mean?
That's not where I'm coming from. My perception is, and I get to do this because I'm an American.
Sure.
What have you done for me lately? And I just got to the point where, she threw up a couple of 4-pointers, which I appreciate, Boston College, Dana Barros, close your eyes, shoot from the parking lot. Because she's got that kind of range for sure. It got to a point where and having no basketball skill, statement prefaced, having no basketball skill, call Kevin Branco if you want to hear about my 3-pointers, my rainmakers. But like all that being said, like she's taking shots. Her feet aren't square. She's completely off balance. And then she was definitely, and she's super good at this. She's really good at the Larry Bird touchdown passes to the other end.
Oh yeah. 100%.
They did that. Yeah. She did that a lot really well. But she was just rushing. Every time she got the ball, I was saying to myself, just slow down. Yeah. Just slow down. And she was in such a rush, and they were trying to match their energy, and they got them off their game by doing that.
Right.
And she was just off. Right. The moment was too big, and I'm celebrating as a basketball fan because she's coming back with a fury.
Yeah.
Like now there's a mission.
I think you're right. The moment was a little bit too big. She was a junior who wanted to win it for the 4 seniors that started with her, 1000%. Right? She's like best friends with them.
Yep.
And she's not for nothing. Do you know a name of one of the other 5 that were on the floor with her?
The Marshall girl. Because every guy in the country was like, who's that other good-looking girl? Like she got no press, and she was all over.
Well,
she was all over.
If you just went in to watch the game, you wouldn't have known any of those other players. My point is that she's the only one that got talked about, so she's got all this pressure on her, and it's not an excuse. I mean, if you want to be her, you got to show up. So
I completely agree with you. To your point, like if you were just going in to watch the game, guilty as charged. Like because we were crashing early to get up early to leave for Logan to go out to Chicago for Bubba's trip. And I was so excited to find out the game was going to be on early. I pictured it would be prime time. I was so excited, but that wouldn't make sense because then they had to do the men's stuff. That was Sunday. Actually, it was Sunday. I apologize.
No, the game was Sunday. The women's game was
women's
Sunday.
Final was Sunday. Yes, yeah. So I was super excited. We got a chance to watch it. And Janina was like, she goes, it's funny how into it you are. And I said, not normally. I said, but these girls are playing out of their freaking minds. Yeah. And it was exciting. They built it around the 2 of them in the matchup.
Right.
And barely, again, to give Angel credit, barely around her. It was a lot of Caitlin talk. And I 1000% wanted to see her have a great day. I'm happy she's going to come back full of piss and vinegar. Now, can they not, this is the one thing that we didn't know going in because we're novices and you're an expert. Can they not leave early?
So the rule is they either have to be 22 or have graduated from school.
Okay.
I think in women's basketball you can play as a graduate student for your 5th year.
Okay.
So potentially you could be a graduate student and then leave and be over 22. So there are situations where a player has been 22 before they've graduated.
Yep.
But for the most part, they have to go all 4 years. They're changing those rules, and the rules in 2024, I think, are going to be a little bit different.
Yep.
Which I think has good points and bad points, because the one thing that's nice about making them go 4 years is it allows the women's game, the college game, to develop stars. You know, I mean, so Caitlin Clark's been in the league, you know, been in college for 3 years. Everybody knows who she is. So now she's appointment viewing next year. If she goes to the WNBA this year and she gets drafted by the Indiana Fever, you're going to tune into an Indiana Fever game for Caitlin Clark? No, you're not. Because it's like, whatever. We have no idea who the Indiana Fever are. You're not going to, they're never on TV. You're not going to subscribe to, well, I do, but you know, you're never going to subscribe to League Pass for WNBA.
Right.
I'm talking the casual fan. You know what I mean?
No, I appreciate that.
But if she's at Iowa, she's going to be on TV.
Oh my God.
You know, people are going to love it. They're going to go crazy. I actually heard somebody had the idea that they should do to open the season next year, that sort of like they do in other sports, they should do LSU and Iowa should be the first game of the season, prime time. And everybody's into it, you know, especially after all this junk with the trash talk and stuff.
Yep.
So
how many years does Angel have left though? Because she went Maryland.
She's a sophomore.
What?
I don't know how old she is. She's 19. I think she's 19 and she's a sophomore. Let me look.
She did a lot of moving then. I feel like this is her third school.
She's 20 years old. Okay. Nope. She was just at Maryland. She was at Maryland for 2 years and then at LSU now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I do want to mention one thing before we move off of this. Because I'm like super angry. Angry's a big word for it, but this thing with Jill Biden is absolutely insane. Like, why she said that they should bring LSU and Iowa to the White House makes me want to throw up in my mouth. I can't believe somebody would say that. I don't want to make too much of a big deal out of it, but it kind of is. Because it's like, not ever in the history of them bringing championship teams to the White House. The champion goes. Exactly. I don't care who it is. You know, and sometimes the champions have turned it down, and that's their prerogative.
Right.
But it's never been the champion and the runner-up. Like, if you want to go congratulate Iowa, go to their stadium. Go to Iowa. You know, make a campaign stop and go there, and then, you know, meet the team. Not to mention, she was at the game. You could have just gone to the locker room.
Yes, the straw poll. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's and that's what everybody says. Oh, she said that because Iowa's the primary or the first caucus or whatever. Maybe it was a political thing, but it made me so mad. I was way more angry about that than the stupid taunting thing.
I'll tell you where my head went when she made that offer. My first thought was, and I'm going back to Louis Gates and the police and Obama, the beer summit.
Oh, yeah.
My initial thought was the feel-good picture of all the kids together at the White House.
Okay.
That to me, if I'm...
You thought that was a good thing? That would be a good thing?
No.
Oh.
If I'm strategizing why they would do that, that was where my head went. That must be the reason they wanted them all to come together. Completely agree with you. And Angel came out and she's like, not going.
Yeah.
Period. Did you see that?
Good for her too. Good for her.
Yeah, and then Caitlin, because Caitlin keeps getting all the interviews.
Yeah.
She's like, national champions go to the White House.
Right. The runner-ups don't. Exactly.
Yeah.
I was so mad about that. I'm like, what? Why would you even make that suggestion? Like, it's I don't know. I was so angry.
Well, and now it's completely ruined because to walk it back, now you're going to have LSU there super annoyed.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, hi. Nice. Yeah, we're not Iowa, but yeah, okay, thanks. Let's take a picture. You know, like,
well,
it's
you're probably going to have Angel Reese walk in with a shirt that says, what was he, 44? Was Obama 44?
Yeah. Oh, one of the players from LSU did tweet something about, like, Mrs. Obama, can we come to your house?
Martha's Vineyard, beautiful this time of year. Yeah.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah. It's gorgeous. Look cold.
Honest to God. Yeah, I thought that was my initial thought, though. They're trying to do like a beer summit.
Yeah, but
Let's get together.
Just hated it. I was so mad.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you take away from the kids, too. You know, it's like these kids from LSU. I mean, the one thing I will say that's so remarkable about the LSU story is it was 9 new kids, right? It's not easy to put a team together like that. You know, and it's remarkable that they all came together. They're all very different personalities, very different players, and they somehow meshed and worked. Now, I think personally, I think if they had gone up against South Carolina, they would have gotten smoked.
Really?
But yeah, because South Carolina was much bigger and much stronger down low. They out rebound every team that they ever play. Iowa was I don't want to say it was a fluke because Iowa was a good team too, but it just felt like there was no rhythm to that game.
They never got started. They never got started.
Aaliyah Boston was in foul trouble the whole time. It was just.
Thank you for bringing that up. We haven't hit on that yet. That was terrible. Like, the refs, and you have to make this decision, and not that they're sitting there making a decision, but I think it's sort of an unwritten rule in sports. When you get to the championship game, let them play.
Let them play, 100%.
And some of the stuff was definitely ticky tack, and then where they said, the technical on Caitlin, when she dished the ball behind her, and not aggressively, she just got out of the way. She was annoyed.
Yeah,
she can't say she wasn't, and she'd probably tell you it wasn't her best move. I think she actually said that in an interview.
Yeah,
but they also said there was language, and if you watch that whole sequence, her mouth never moves.
No,
she walks over to the huddle, and when her mouth starts moving, it's when she's talking to the girls in the huddle.
Right.
That everybody being in foul trouble 2 hours before the game started ruined the game. 1,000% ruined the game.
Totally agree. And the same thing happened. I don't know if you watched the semifinal game, the Final Four game, but the same thing happened in that game. It was Aaliyah Boston was out for a good portion of the first half.
Yep.
Monica Zazano was out for a good portion of the first half. So we kind of had this argument discussion back and forth on our group chat.
Yep.
There's got to be some way to keep the stars on the floor, right? Because great, Iowa versus South Carolina. Some people tuned in for that, but most people tuned in for Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston. Some were for Aaliyah Boston, some were for Caitlin Clark. And if one of them is on the bench, you're like, okay, this is basketball. Yeah, I kind of like it, but it's not that great. It's the same. It's in any sport, in any level. If it's professional basketball and Tatum is not on the floor, you're like, yeah, okay. I mean, at least the Celtics have other stars around him, but you come to see Tatum. You want to see Tatum.
Yep.
So I think they need to change the rules personally. I love basketball in its purest form, but I do think that they need to change the rules in some way to make it, even if they extend it where you get 7 fouls or something. So at least you can keep the star players on the floor the longest amount of time that they can be on the floor. So that's my rant.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm glad we dotted that I and crossed that T. No, we went hard on the women's basketball. Yeah,
we did. I love it. Rubber shoes is
and honestly,
non-existent hair out.
UConn, awesome.
Yes. UConn.
Yeah, awesome win. I'm super glad that somebody in the region did something right. Thank God.
Yep.
But I do feel like, from a storyline standpoint, Scotty will scream at me next week after I finish this sentence and this thought. I feel like from a storyline standpoint and from an attention standpoint, writing the title as we speak, the women trump the men.
Totally agree.
I think the stories, all of it, all of it, the energy around that final weekend was. And I think you got more people tuned in. They had the highest one of Caitlin's games was higher rated than, I don't know, I saw the stat somewhere.
And any NBA game that has played on ESPN
all season.
Period.
Yeah, all season.
Yes.
Yeah. So
that was an Elite 8 game. The championship game got 10 million people. 10 million people were watching it. I would say you're 1,000% right. I think that the women definitely trumped the men over the weekend, and I would go even further and say there's not a player on the men's side that is capturing the imagination of people like Caitlin Clark is. Yeah. I mean, you know who Caitlin Clark is. I do. I bet if you asked 10 people on the street, at least 8 of them would know who she was.
Number 22, by the way.
Huh?
Number 22, by the way.
Well, yeah, I know that's helpful for you. But if you can't do this thing around here because a lot of people know UConn. But if you went to, like, I don't know, Iowa, and you asked people to tell me 3 people who play for UConn, they'd be like, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they might not even be able to name one. And I think that's indicative of the fact that it's a star at this point. It's a personality-driven game, right? In many ways, and it's a storyline-driven game. And UConn is, I love them. I'm glad they won. Is a boring team, as was San Diego State for that matter.
Yeah.
and that the FAU game versus San Diego State, it was a buzzer beater, but up until that point, it was sort of a ho-hum kind of boring game. Nothing that exciting about it. So I agree with you. I think the women's game, at least at the college level, definitely outshined the men this weekend.
Do you think, to your point about Caitlin and her emotion around so many of her teammates leaving, do you think they have the infrastructure to come back with the seniors stepping away? Or was that it for her? That was my other thought. Maybe that was it for her.
I'm wondering about
she's showing is maybe we don't get back here.
Yeah. I mean, the interesting thing about it is a number of the players on South Carolina have already announced for the WNBA draft. A handful, like the girl from her name's escaping me, but the girl from Villanova who was really good. She's already declared for the draft. So, is it possible that they put a team together around Caitlin Clark that they really what you need for her to be good is you need a good big and you need 3 shooters around her so that if she gets caught up, you've got somebody to kick it to. So is it impossible that they build a team that could get back there? No, I don't think it's impossible. I think it's going to be an uphill climb. I mean, that team was so good because they had been together for so long. And LSU, by the way, brings back a big percentage of their team. So LSU could be formidable. And then, not for nothing, but UConn has hopefully Paige Beckers, AZ Fudd, and Ice Brady all coming back next year. So that could be a difficult team to contend with too. So fingers crossed. So we'll see.
Unbelievable.
Turn of events. 100 and some episodes ago, you would not have expected to spend 50 minutes on the women's game, but here we are. And Rubber Shoes is pissed.
Yeah, most likely.
I went to the Red Sox, damn it.
Well, let's talk about them. I mean, the Celtics and the Bruins right now. I think next week we're going to talk about playoff prep for both of those teams.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
We'll save that for the boys to get back. And outside of the Bruins having a couple of clunky games, they've been good, but
because of your jinx. But it's all right.
You're welcome. Yeah, they gotta stay remotely healthy, and I would love for them to make. And I don't know. I haven't heard anything if they've changed, and they haven't really announced what they're doing, but they've sort of said they're gonna keep rotating them a little bit, and if that's how they're gonna go into, because I saw on one of the stations, Razor was talking about the fact that they were going to continue with that is what everybody's belief is. And that freaks me out a little bit. Olmark's been pretty strong, so I'd like to think they're just going to keep him in and let him go. And I think I don't think that big bear hug at the end is for show or anything. There's genuine love between those two, and whatever we got to do, next man up. And there's only 2 of them, unless we have to go to Providence. And if that happens, we're fucked. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things, they're in a pretty good place. Yeah. The Red Sox. Let's wrap with the Red Sox.
Let's wrap with the Red Sox.
I'm in a couple of sessions, and I come in here. I put on the Red Sox. I'm checking in with Cheryl. Just got back from grocery shopping. Very excited to put the Red Sox on. I'm like, well, the Pirates are eating our lunch. Sure enough, there was a dinger that tied it up 4-4, but they called it back.
Yeah,
and I don't have the sound up on this TV, and they kept showing it hit Pesky's pole, and it looked like it changed direction.
Right.
But apparently it didn't, so they called it back. Ended up losing. Pirates sweep the Red Sox. Not great.
Ugh.
My aspirational 98 and 64 is in question already. It's very early, but it's already in question.
98 and 64.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%. I went in hard on the Red Sox.
When that came through, I wasn't on the show, but when it came through, I was laughing.
Yeah, I'm all in.
Because last year, you were so down on the team. This year, you're like, all right, let's go. 98, let's go.
Don't forget, I was the one that to review, I had the Bruins at some horrible, because everybody was coming off surgery. Yeah. Everybody was having the trick hip replaced. Everybody was coming back from surgery, and completely wrong, which I appreciate. The Celtics, I said, we lose to Phoenix in 7 in the finals.
Right. That's optimistic.
That could still be right. And yeah, I went bullish on the Red Sox, and I'm freaking out now because normally I have to be like Bizarro Tim. Yeah. but I don't want to do that because as soon as I do that in the universe, as soon as the universe figures out that that's what I'm doing, yeah. Miss Cleo figures out that I'm trying to like fake out the stars and alignment.
Right.
They're going to screw it on me. So I'm going to stick with my 98 and 64. I feel like they're going to figure it out along the way, and it's going to be an interesting second half of the season. And if we keep sort of screwing up until the All-Star break, you guys know how I feel about that.
Yeah,
I'd rather be a mess going in.
Yeah,
rather be a mess going in.
I have to tell you, though, we've only played 6 games, and they're already 4 back. I mean, it's not great. It's not great.
Well, the Yankees, I mean, can they just stop already? Like, Anthony Volpe, right? Volpe shows up. He's like, what is he, 14?
Can they just stop already?
And then they're showing like when he was there as a kid with his parents, and there's that guy on TikTok. Are we gonna get sued for playing this audio? But I gotta hang on.
You're pulling it up. All right.
Yeah. I'm absolutely gonna get the audio because Aiden sent it to me.
Okay.
And it's really pretty funny. Hang on, 4.5
I do think it's funny that you're like waving your fist at the Yankees, but like if the Red Sox were pulling the stuff that they're doing, you'd be all over it.
What do you mean?
Well, just like like you love the
like finding talent
stories, and when they find talent, but stories about like, oh, this guy was a Red Sox fan his whole life growing up, and now he's here.
I say this as a sports fan.
Yeah,
I'm annoyed at the lack of for us to do that.
Got it.
Oh, okay, I'm giving them their flowers with this. So
all right.
There's a guy on TikTok, and he does a wicked over the top Italian. And so he'll have just a video of like this old Cadillac going down the street. And he's like, now that's a car. That's Italian. And he just has this whole bravado about it. So Bubba sent me this, and it's basically this guy with this voice talking about Anthony Volpe. Hold on.
These briskets straight from...
Nope.
Anthony fucking Volpe. That ex-Derek G. Look at him go. Safe. Look at him. He's fucking Ricky Henderson, too.
That's so good, right?
That's
but
magic.
he usually goes, now that's Italian.
Oh, my God.
But
that's funny.
they waited 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And they went into the back room. They get out there. They're never mind 3D. They're out there 4D printer. And they made a new Jeter.
Yeah. Well, let's slow it down for a second.
I'm not going to slow it down.
Jeter? Come on, slow down. Slow down.
My kids are going to wake up their kids, and that kid's going to break their hearts. There's my long play Nostradamus. Aiden's going to go wake up Timothy Charles II and say, Timmy, you got to get up. Your grandfather would have loved this.
Your heart's going to break.
Yeah, and Volpe's going to Aaron Boone us. Oh, my God. I can't believe.
We're past that. Come on.
I can't believe they
not even a rivalry anymore.
They're just printing players over there.
Yeah.
And we
did that for a while, but our management sucks. So
we print them, Adam. You're half right. We print them.
Right.
We fold them up. We put them in an envelope and we mail them to San Diego.
That's right. That's right. What if the Padres,
which is German for the Red Sox suck?
Yeah.
Yes.
The Padres are any good this year or no?
I have not kept a close eye. You know what's funny? We promised ourselves we were going to have Alex on during the offseason.
Yeah, we never did. Now it's
already over.
He's back in business.
Now it's his busy time of the year. He has no time for us again.
Yeah.
Not that I've reached out. I have not looked up what they're doing.
They're 3-3. Does he
they're
ever
500?
have 500?
What I can tell you, our favorite, not Alex because he's an employee. Their favorite fan, I'm sure at 3-3 doesn't care because Bobby Dugan's sitting on a Lido deck right now, eating fish tacos. Right?
Is he on the lanai?
Drinking a oh, you should see the lanai. It's amazing.
I'm sure there's a lanai out there.
It's amazing. Yep. Fish tacos, having a mojito in his robe.
Is he more Padres than Red Sox now? He must be, right?
No.
No?
Oh, Petco's gorgeous.
Yeah,
like
I know.
To shoot down to Petco. Yeah, so shoot down to Petco. So to go and grab a game, 1,000%. But is he? No, he's
still
gonna,
Red.
No, he's gonna die on the hill.
I don't know. 'Cause he's been out there for a while, right? I mean, he's been out there for.
Have you met Bobby Dugan?
Years. I mean, once.
He loves the Boston sports psychology of sadness more than we do. Are you kidding me? I haven't even done a wellness check on the NFL. I have no idea how he feels about all this. Yeah, now we're shopping Mac.
Bring in Lamar.
Oh my God, it's a bunch.
Lamar Jackson does have a good Boston name though. Like he would be good just for that because you'd have a bunch of guys be like, Lamar's the best dude. I love Lamar until he gets to the playoffs.
I don't see how he comes here and works out.
No. Same.
To me that's a too good to be true, and we don't sort of live in that country. And I know that we just had 20 years of buffet. I know we had everything we wanted, all the chocolate we can eat. I know that. And I think somebody like him comes in, we give him the huge deal, and then his knee explodes or something. Like, it doesn't sit right with me. And if the owner is talking to his best friend Meek Mill, and Meek Mill is saying he really wants to play there, and then the owner gets in front of the press and says, Bill can do whatever he wants. All I know is Lamar really wants to be here. And now there's rumors, and it's Boston. So, there's smoke. There must be fire. Then they're clearly shopping Mac.
Right.
Which I don't know if I agree with that either, because this could all blow up. And then Mac goes to what? I don't know, the Jets, because they can't seem to get Aaron, right?
The Jets, he's going to go to the Jets and then become Tom Brady. I mean, come on, that's what's going to happen. We've seen this movie before. That is what it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's frightening. But it's going to be interesting.
This is what I hate, and I think the Boston sports media really screws our teams in some way. So they spread all these rumors about Jaylen Brown, and now Jaylen Brown's pissed, and he's like, all right, well, maybe I'll get my championship this year, but then I'm out. I'm going to get a huge contract, and I'm gone. Mac Jones would do the same thing. Now, not that I'm saying they're going to go to the Super Bowl next year, but I'm saying, you start talking about it, he develops into a player that can actually get you to the playoffs and win you a couple of games, then he's going to jet as soon as he gets a chance to get out of here. So it drives me nuts. They do this all the time. It's like, just shut up and let these guys stay here, for God's sakes. I mean, Tatum and Brown together could get, the sky's the limit for those guys.
And did Jaylen just get his bonus?
He got a bonus for how long he's been, for how many games he's been playing. But he gets, he can sign for. I think he can sign for a supermax deal if he makes an All NBA team.
Yep.
And it's the possibilities is looking good that he's going to make an All NBA team. He should. But I think the Celtics are the only ones that can give him the supermax. So that would actually be to our benefit, even though it would cost us some money. It's not my money. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, check with Wick. See how he's feeling.
He has the green light to go after KD.
Oh my
36-year-old guy. I mean,
that would be horrifying. That would be horrifying.
I'd be so mad.
I'm probably way off on this, but I'm pretty sure this is a story. The only reason Wick even moved to the area?
No.
His son is, I don't know if he's completely, but vision impaired, and he's at the Perkins School for the Blind.
Is that right?
So I believe that's what brought the Grosbecks into town.
Wow.
And then somebody's like, you got $10.
Yeah, can you rub a few sticks together, see what you can wrap up?
Yeah, I believe the family originally moved to town so his son could attend Perkins.
Oh, okay, because his son's got to be out of school now because he's been here for
a while,
20 years,
for
right?
quite a bit. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So one more reason to love Boston. We have all the education brought us a great ownership because he is a great owner. I need them to.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't like. Are they going to drop all that money on those two players to keep them both around?
I mean, I would.
At their age,
it's not my money,
yes,
but I would. I mean, it's 25. I mean, who are you going to get that's better, right? I mean, yeah, you might get a guy that averages 2 or 3 more points a game, but he's going to be in his 30s, right? Okay, so I would say the only downside to signing those two guys for such huge salaries is that what can you put around them? I mean, I know you already have Smart locked up, you already have Robert Williams locked up, but you're going to lose Horford after 1 or 2 years.
Yep.
You're going to lose. You're probably going to lose Grant Williams.
Al's got to go.
Yeah, Al's got to go. I mean, I love Al, but
he's got a room waiting for him at the Villages. I mean, I do too. No judgment.
Yeah. Well,
it's
obviously,
lovely. It's lovely.
It's not like I'm grabbing any rebounds at my ripe young age.
Yep. Thursday night canasta. Yep. Not this week though. We start Passover at sundown. Yep. So.
Oh, okay, good. Well,
Yeah,
I'm glad I have
this
the
week. Not
schedule
this
then.
week.
Yeah,
Yep.
can you send that to me?
I will.
In paper. I don't do the interwebs very well. So.
Okay, good.
Grant Williams is probably going to be gone. I would guess at the end of this season, he's probably going to be gone. Would be my guess, which is such a shame. I would love to see him stay, but he's probably going to be gone. Let's see who else. Well, Brogdon they have tied up for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I don't know. You have a core group of guys, and you pay these guys a lot of money. I mean, you're going to pay anybody if you want to win. You got to pay, right? It's just the way it boils down to it. So
if they keep them both, is there what did Beal do? Is Bradley still floating on a short deal? Or did they lock him up? Bradley?
No,
Beal?
they locked him up.
They
But
did
he's
lock
been
him up.
hurt.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I like Beal, but I just don't think he's shown promise. I just don't think he's resulted in any. Obviously, he hasn't. He plays for the Wizards. I mean,
And if there's turnover in LA, do they? Somebody was talking about this the other day. And I was like, oh, I didn't even think that would be feasible. But I don't know what kind of money is leaving LA this year. Would Jalen get his chance to play with Kyrie and go to LA?
Well, they didn't get along when they were here, so I don't think he would want to go play with Kyrie. I think personally, what I think is the option that's going to happen if he decides to leave Boston is I think Ime is going to get hired by Houston, and he's going to go play with all those young guys and be the guy, and then all those young guys will fill in around him. And because I know he really liked playing with Ime. I don't know if Ime gets that gig or not, but if he does, I think that's the likely landing spot for Jalen. I hope that doesn't happen. I want obviously him to stay here. So because you need both those guys. I don't think you win. I don't think Tatum wins by himself. I mean, even LeBron doesn't win by himself. You need a second guy at least. So, and LeBron's the GOAT. So that one was for rubber shoes.
Yep. What about Michael? What about Kobe?
I thought you said
What?
I thought you said Merkel.
Yeah.
I thought I'm like, you want to talk about the German chancellor?
Well,
All right,
now my shack is melting into my chuck. I'm going to call it my chack. It's my chack. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
My Jack.
What about Kobe? He's terrible. Yeah.
I am not a role model.
Oh my God. Honest to God. Well, with that, we're going to put a bow on it, kids.
Yeah, please, let's do it. We talked a lot about sports today.
And
Actually,
you know what?
We talked a lot about sports, actually.
With everything going on between you and I, my friend, I'm surprised we didn't get. I'm surprised we didn't get to the.
I'm surprised you weren't raising a fist in New York yesterday. What happened? I thought for sure I'd see you speeding down 95 to get there in time for 2:15.
I've been invited to the festivities. Apparently, we're welcome back December 4th.
Oh, okay.
They need us back December 4th. I'm just going to intern at a law firm. I don't know. I just want to be in the room.
I would love to see that one shot on the TV that had the black doors. I'm sure you saw it, and just see you walk through it.
Yeah, me right
through.
behind Trump. Yeah, yep.
And here comes Trump's body man.
It's a witch hunt. It's a witch hunt.
It's a witch hunt.
Dude, see, here's the thing. I love every millimeter of all of this. Like, I love all the politics, all the yelling. Like, people hate. Like, I don't like none of the ridiculousness, none of the windows breaking, none of cities burning down, all that stuff. No, but like, all the vitriol and all the because baby Jesus is up in heaven. I'm gonna here's my chart, right? I'm just gonna hold up some papers.
Let's go. Let's do it.
And here's the boat that is the United States, right?
Yeah.
And for the 4 or maybe 8 years that the donkeys have it, the boat turns about that much.
Yeah.
And then the elephants get it, and then it turns about that much.
Yep.
The problem is, right now, the whole boat's just headed in the wrong direction, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter where you
It
turn.
doesn't matter, yeah.
That's a very good analogy. I love it.
Yeah, like we get it just long enough to turn it a little bit.
Yep.
And my dad said this ages ago. People get elected, especially after like an 8-year run on the other side, right?
Yes.
And then the new guy walks in, or the new girl walks in, and they're like, "Hey, that was pretty good. You were great on the trail, by the way. Awesome, great job." So here's the thing: we ran the numbers about 89, Oh shit! Hang on a second. Carry the 4, divide by about 97.3% of the stuff that you promised on you can't do that.
Can't do. It's not
We
gonna
can't
happen.
do. We don't even have that button, Jerry.
That's right.
Yeah. Nobody actually knows what you mean,
So
right?
true. It's
Yeah, you
so
just sit
true.
in there. Yeah, behind that desk is just like drawers full of like animal crackers and stuff. Like, yeah.
The phone doesn't go anywhere. He picks up the red phone. He's like,
Yeah,
"Who's on the other end?" Nobody.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this just in. The call's coming from inside the house, and it's you talking to yourself. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. I think the Oval Office is just like the Upside Down. You're just in there for 4 years. You get out. Yeah,
They bring Diet Cokes in when you want it, but that's about it. That's all you get is Diet
yeah.
Coke.
Yeah. But I love all the buffoonery.
Well,
And I
yeah,
know-
me too. That's what makes it fun, right? Is
Yes,
the craziness
and you and I
around
have
it.
discussed this ad nauseum. I love the fact that you are on opposite sides of the aisle, and
Yes, it's fun.
absolutely love each other. I adore you, brother, and I love
course.
all of our conversations. I know that Rubber Shoes is mad that we didn't get to really the inner workings of WrestleMania 39, and I don't even, was it 39? I think I was actually right. I think it was 39.
I think you hit it. Yeah,
which
I think
is
it was.
horrifying. And I love that John. First of all, I need to know if John Cena paid the $500 for his Kowloon dunks,
Kowloon.
and then the
Yeah.
$95 shipping. $595, and then you wore them wrestling. You wore them grappling. Like, if I was gonna make the poor choice of getting those, and they're not a poor choice, but you're
Right.
never gonna wear. I would not wear them. What do you do? What do you do? Like, you carry them like you're in youth basketball. You carry them in your sin sack, and you put them on when you get into the gym.
Of course,
You see
that's
everybody
what you
lacing
do.
up like
Go
gym
grease
neighbors
them.
in the lobby at Kowloon because nobody wants to
Yep.
get them dirty, right? But spoiler alert: as soon as you start walking around in Kowloon, they get dirty.
You get dirty. There's a couple grease stains on those.
Yeah, probably a little tumultuous in there. I think a little bit.
Yeah.
a little bit.
I think somebody called him up and said, "We'd like you to wear these at WrestleMania," and he was like, "Hell yeah!" Is he from around here?
So amazing that you know that like enough people commented, and there's people around the country right now.
Yeah, yeah.
That are like, what is this Kowloon thing? Now, which is really funny because when we were out, we were talking about San Diego. When we were out there visiting Dugan and Alex on the last trip, I'm walking, and I had just bought it, but it was home because I didn't take it on the road trip. We were walking around the concourse, and I don't even think when we were there, the Red Sox weren't out there. I don't believe.
Okay.
But there was just some Bonnie marching around the concourse and I have one of these. It's camouflage front with red lettering. It's a Kowloon snapback.
Oh my God, you kidding me?
And I saw it. I'm
That's
like, dude,
hysterical.
love your hat. I have one at home. He's like, yeah, guy, all worked up and I'm like, what are the chances, right? Like,
Right.
What are the
Kowloon
chances?
is spreading its wings, man.
So I know, like out there's a restaurant out there called the Bally High.
okay.
And it's this open concept because it's 82 degrees all year out there.
Yeah, sure,
Open
sure.
concept on the water. And their big thing is if you get a Bally High Mai Tai, you can only get 2. They stamp your hand.
Really?
So we're all sitting there, and Dugan's like telling me, he's like, you're not going to like it. Dugan, and of course, Dugan's like an Irish Catholic. No, he just wants his, he drinks White Russians, right?
Yeah.
So he's like telling me it's horrible. I'm watching this guy, and all you see is he's got the 2 bottles, and he just does the. And that's it. There's nothing. Nothing else went into it. He literally poured dark rum and light rum.
Wow.
And then threw a lime in it for effort. I don't know. It was. They bring it over. I take 1 sip. I'm now sterile. No more children. Janine and I were done now.
Thank goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can't send it back
Right.
because they're gonna tar and feather you. So the guy comes over. He's like, "Everybody good?" And he looks at me. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get something a little different, like my $30 Mai Tai from Bally High, motor oil."
Did Bobby Dugan drink one?
No, Dugan tried to swear me off of it. He's like, they're terrible. Dugan's like, I don't get it at all. No, Dugan's anti. And then Alex, who's, 6'2", 38 pounds soaking wet,
Right.
he's railing them. Yep. Signing babies because he's famous. Oh, yeah. Ridiculous. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. I had no
San Diego.
Yeah. It's a great restaurant. Everything else was really, really good. But the Bally High Mai Tais. Now,
Not so good.
affectionately, on the other side of that, the Mai Tais at Kowloon are
Amazing.
Chef's kiss.
Oh yeah.
And that's
100%.
I'm completely biased on that front.
Well, of course.
Because I know in my heart of hearts they're not great, but like the best part about a Kowloon Mai Tai is they get to you in like seconds.
Yes.
Because they just go over and you get the little tiny balled ice, right?
If memory serves me correctly, I think we started there for my bachelor party. Is that right, at Kowloon? Or maybe I'm thinking. I know I've been there with you a couple of times, but I can't remember.
Well, I believe we're going to leave the innocent out of this. We got all the way down to Providence.
Careful, I have daughters now, so yes. But yes, we did. We made it to Providence. Yep.
Well, we wanted to go to Fire and Ice, very great restaurant.
Right.
Yeah,
I love Fire and Ice.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I went down there and.
Oh no, we started on well, it used to be Yaki Way, but we started. What's the name of the street now? But that place that has
they
bring
Jersey
out like
Street
the
now.
Trays of meat. Remember that?
Oh,
Down
Jersey Street. Jersey Street.
Yeah, but what's the name of the restaurant that we?
Did we
it's
do
like the Red
Fogo
Sox
first?
bar. Huh?
Oh no, we went to Game On.
Game On. That's it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yes,
that's the word I was
yeah.
looking for. Yeah, Game On. Yeah, that was fun. That was a good time.
It was a long night.
Tommy Boy came. That tells you all you need to know.
On that note, hide the women and children.
Yeah, seriously.
Holy Lord. All right, for
man.
Adam and for Timmy, we'll have Rubber Shoes and Scotty back next week.
Yes.
You can check out all the action at atbshow.com. Of course, Rubber Shoes will be back at it in the morning for the Rubber Shoes wrap up and rant. And of course, that's on all the mediums. He is TikToking now. So
wow.
it's inescapable. It's like when Doc used to go to a concert, there was so much weed, it was unavoidable. Yes. Way back in the day. The Rubber Shoes wrap up is inescapable. So
Can't find it anywhere.
for Rubber Shoes, for Scotty, for Adam and myself, thanks for checking out the show. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. You can do that at atbshow.com. We're brought to you by our dear friends at AAA Work Trucks. And you can maybe go in there, go to the Contact Us page. Go to AAA Work Trucks for me.
Do it.
Scroll
please.
down. Go to Contact, and I'm sure it doesn't say like Joe or Leslie, but just go to Contact. There's probably a hello at AAA Work Trucks, and then just all I want, the subject line, why, ? And then Rubber Shoes behind home plate, triple question mark, because that annoys me so much when people
Definitely,
overemphasize
yeah.
Triple. And then just see if the company writes back.
Just send. Just hit send.
Just hit send. Yep.
Yep.
God help us all. All right, Adam. We'll see you next week.
Good, man.
Have a great week,
Talk to you
everybody.
later.
Take care.